We got news, y'all. It looks like Coby White will not be starting the season off with the Chicago Bulls as he continues his ramp up phase, is what they're calling it, to making his return for the Chicago Bulls. And as of now, he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Y'all know we gonna talk about it, break it all down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm bringing you the latest regarding your Chicago Bulls on this episode. So if you're tuned in, love talking Bulls basketball, man, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Got Joshua in the building. What up, though? But hey, we're hearing from a number of sources. Brad Siegel, Casey Johnson, and the Chicago Bulls themselves pretty much saying that Coby White will continue his ramp up phase ahead of the NBA season, and they will reevaluate him in 2 weeks. Casey Johnson also mentioned that one consistent thing regarding Coby White, the organization and Coby White are both in lockstep on Coby White taking a big picture view of the season. They want him fully healthy for the long haul, as does he, to impact winning in his contract year. So what that means for Coby White is that the Chicago Bulls don't want to rush him back. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to rush him back, and I'm 100% with that. Don't necessarily want to rush him back just to start the season, and then the calf becomes an issue again while we're in the midst of, let's say, a winning streak or a losing streak, and we're trying to find our way. You don't want him to go down. So at the start of the season, me personally, I'd rather have him miss a couple games for the first few weeks of the season than to place him out there. He re-injures it and possibly be out, you know what I'm saying, for the entire season, or have to miss extensive time with dealing with that injury. So I'm good with the Chicago Bulls not rushing him back. It does suck, but I think that the Chicago Bulls still have a number of good pieces to go out there and at least stay competitive and ultimately try to win some games at the start of the season. Now, if we know and we remember, the start of the season for the Chicago Bulls starts off, at least when we try to track it for those first 2 weeks, the Chicago Bulls for 2 weeks will face Detroit, Orlando, Atlanta, Sacramento, and New York. And that New York game that I'm talking about is on Halloween. That is a Friday. And the rematch versus the New York Knicks will take place on November 2nd at 7 o'clock at night. Hopefully that is a game to where Coby White can make his return. If not, hopefully that next game on November 4th versus the Philadelphia 76ers will be a good timeline for him to see what happens and see how we, as the Chicago Bulls, can hold it down. Some players that I'm really going to be watching now, it's definitely Josh Giddey, bro. This is what we paid you that money for. This is what we believe. This is why we believe you are a part of this culture, and this opens up a lot of opportunity for guys like Montes Buzelis, Trey Jones, and Ayo Dosunmu. Obviously, you want other guys to go out there and contribute, but I think that if the Chicago Bulls want to win basketball games, we need the others to go out there and step up. We're absolutely going to miss the scoring output that Coby White can help the Chicago Bulls do, but at the end of the day, he's going to be gone for about 2 weeks, or at least when they reevaluate him. That is not to say he will return in 2 weeks. Hopefully it does, but I think that they are making a smart decision just to have him ramp up for those 2 weeks and make sure that the calf is good to go. And hopefully there's no setbacks, simply because a lot of the times when we hear the Chicago Bulls talk about said players, it's always talking about when they coming back and they ramping up and then there's some type of damn setback. So I'm hoping that for Coby White, there is no setback. He can remain healthy and absolutely go out there and help the Chicago Bulls in a way. And my man's Bobby Speaks joining us along with my man's throwing some thoughts. What's the word? Bobby Speaks says, there goes that good start down the drain. For the Chicago Bulls or Coby White? I think for the Chicago Bulls, you ain't got a choice but to go out there and ball out. I don't necessarily know if they will go 0-6. Hopefully that is not in the future of the Chicago Bulls. But if you can come out the 6 games at 3-3, I think that's pretty damn good for a team that's down their best scorer. But I also believe that guys like Josh Giddey, he got to show up. Josh Giddey, this is what we need you for. And I think that you got to cut down on these turnovers. You can't fall behind at the start of the season in those first quarters, because we've seen that a lot throughout this preseason. The Chicago Bulls starters not necessarily be ready to go. I'm interested to see if Billy Donovan is going to continue with Josh Giddey and Trey Jones starting lineup. I know that he spoke about tailoring his starting lineups according to who the team that they're playing on any given night. So we'll see. I think Trey Jones did well as a starter, but I would also like to know who's going to be that guy, to help with the guys on the bench, because I think that's what Trey Jones could thrive at personally, and I think that's what his role is. But in the meantime, guys got to step up, man. Guys got to step up. Joshua Jackson said, I'm hoping the Bulls play a bit like the Bears this year. Hey, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. But if we get the Montes Buzelis, we believe that we're going to get. Who's to say that they can't compete within these first 6-7 games that are going to be right there on the docket for the Chicago Bulls? Now, these are not easy matchups. I don't think you're supposed to take any team lightly regardless of what league you're in. I think you still got to go out there and handle business. But if Montes Buzelis can continue to give us those 19, 20-point scoring outputs, I think that helps the Chicago Bulls tremendously this upcoming season, and at least for this stretch that Coby White is going to be out. Now, I will say that if Montes Buzelis wants that most improved player, hey, if you want to start your season off on a good foot, hey, go ahead and go out there and average about 19 points per game, and that'll definitely start to grab some attention. Obviously, you're going to need to win some of those ball games, but I think that if Montes Buzelis can come in and, show us glimpses of what we've seen in the preseason, where he's showing out athletically, he's doing things differently on the defense, I think you'll have a strong chance of getting Montes Buzelis started on the right foot for his most improved player campaign. I'm rooting for the kid. I want him to go out there and get it, man. For sure. I'm just saying I want the success the Bears are getting. I agree with you, Josh. I think that's something that we all want in Chicago. If there's somebody that's being too negative and don't want the Chicago Bulls to go out there and succeed, I just think they're being absolutely ridiculous and stupid. That's just my personal opinion, because we hearing a lot of nonsense regarding the Bears game last night, because y'all know I cover the Bulls and the Bears, but whole different topic. I'll be here for another 20 minutes if we're going to talk about the Bears. But hey, I agree with you, Thanks and Thoughts. My man said Montes is going to be special for sure. I think he will be, bro. I think he understands what's ahead of him, and I love the mentality that he has. I always say what separates the goods from the greats, it's not just talent. It's also your mindset going into games. So I want to see Montes Buzelis attack these games to be like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm here now. And it's the same thing that goes for Josh Giddey. You got your bread. You shouldn't be thinking about too much, and you should be able to go out there and help the Chicago Bulls have a good fighting chance to win these games, especially against, to start off the season, because teams don't necessarily know what they're going to get right away. I think you got to go out there and punch teams in the face and try to place yourself in a good position to come out with victories. And you don't want to fall too behind at the start of the season. It's not to say that you can't go on a run and, have a over 500, record well past October, November of the season. But it's to say that for this team specifically, I don't think that they can fall way too behind when trying to keep pace in the Eastern Conference. That's just me, at least right now, going off what I've seen in the past. But I think that, hey, all opportunities is right there. All opportunities are right there. Cod in the building says typical. Yeah, man. It's always something with the Bills with Chicago sports, bro. It's always something. We just got to be prepared. I was honestly anxious and excited to see Coby White return to the lineup, personally, because I thought that with the way the Chicago Bulls want to play, and then with those players that was going to be coming off the bench for us, and Trey Jones, Ayo Dosunmu, P. Will, Jalen Smith, because Zach Collins is hurt as well. I thought that bench was going to be a really good support for the starters of the Chicago Bulls, but they do have a lot of versatility and a lot of different lineups that they can lean on to try to give yourself a fighting chance. So we just got to go out there and thug it out for 2 weeks. when excuse me, when Coby White is reevaluated, and hopefully he can come out firing. That's what I'm hoping for, because this is a contract year for him. I know he dealt with injuries before and missed games before, but you don't want anything catastrophic to happen to that calf, because we seen players, Jason Tatum, Hallie, a number of other players go down with, blown Achilles. So that's why I'm 100% with not rushing him back just for 6 games. I'd rather have him for the long haul, and I think that's a smart approach to it. But I think that we always have a little bit of questions to talk about when it comes to our training staff on why guys always have setbacks, or why guys are not always prepared to be a part of the rotation and be ready to play basketball when the initial timeline is being placed out there for everybody to follow and hope for, so we can properly root for this team. So we'll see, though. Marcus in the building said Catfish about to get some minutes. Hey, if Trey Jones starting and Catfish can come off the bench and light it up like he was in preseason, I wouldn't be too mad at it. Give Catfish a couple minutes, and once he get the tweaking, go ahead put the towel over your head, bro. I ain't even gonna play around with that. I ain't even got the patience to deal with a lot of players that ain't trying to help this team win. You got to be able to come in and do the right things offensively and defensively. And I still want to see, because I'm still waiting on this physicality that we're trying to place with this team now. I think they need to be better. I think they need to do a better job of showing us the physicality that they want to pursue and show us. And I also think that offensively they can get better, and I think that's something that we'll be monitoring over the season for sure. So we'll see. We shall see. But Coby White is not here. Guys still got to go and do their damn job. It's a hell of an opportunity for guys like Josh Giddey. Give me 28 and 8 every single night. Montes Buzelis, go ahead and show up. You know what I'm saying? And then all the others, do what you got to do. I know Ayo Dosunmu is going to come to play. I know Trey Jones is going to come to play. But who else is going to follow? Kevin Huerter, are you here to play basketball, or you want to go home? That's all I want to know. There is no excuses for these guys. It's no excuses. And I'm with you, Marcus. I think we gotta go 3-3. I think that need to be the baseline set. 3-3. You know what I'm saying? 2-4. Nobody's really gonna be feeling good with 2-4, but you can feel a lot better about 3-3, or hell, maybe even 4-2. That'll feel way more better. Now, if you go 0-5, 0-6, oh God, y'all might as well just just get ready. Because that's unacceptable, bro. That's unacceptable for a team like this, who, yeah, you might not be the best team in the Eastern Conference, but you're not the worst either. You could definitely compete with a lot of these teams right now. So we'll see. Those matchups that we have against Detroit, against Orlando, against Sacramento, against the New York Knicks, I say we give ourselves a solid chance of being really good in those games. But it's not up to us to believe. They got to show us. So I agree with you, Marcus. 3-3, we got to go there. Anything less, hey, we on their ass. We treating them early. Yes, it's a long season, but we treating them early. I would say that it all depends how it looks. I would say that. I would say it depends how a 2-4 record, depending on how it looks. I think that's what it would let us know how we should be approaching those guys, or talking shit about them, or praising them. It depends how it looks. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this quick episode for the Chicago Bulls, bringing you the latest information surrounding Coby White and the Bulls ahead of the start of their season in just a couple days. We're going to be right here lock and loaded all season long with the live calls, with some post games, with the daily episodes. So make sure y'all lock in, hit that like button, and subscribe, man. But in the meantime, in between time, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, and y'all already know we're going to catch y'all on the next one. For sure. Peace out, y'all.
Cognac. Gang.